Well, let's deal with the matter at hand to begin with. Then first, Bradford City this weekend. What kind of challenge do they pose?
Very similar to obviously what they did last year, and we've got new players, but stylistically, obviously, kind of very similar to what we were last year. So that won't change. So yeah, I think we can draw on kind of the two games that we played last year against them. Obviously, very direct, physical, one of really good pressing team. So again, nothing that we don't know about them, but they're obviously very good at it.
The games against Bradford last year, clearly the victory at home will live long in the memory for everybody for generations to come. But even the match at Bradford was spoken about in glowing terms for such a long time. Against that style of play, do you think you have some kind of number on teams like that?
I wouldn't say so, because I think both games were obviously very fine margined, and also they were down to 10 in the second game. So I don't think that you can say we've got a number. We obviously have players, and the way we play as well is very robust, and we can stand up to teams like that, and we have a way of playing around it. So I wouldn't say we have the number, no, but we obviously draw confidence from the results last year.
Bradford then obviously have got a few new players, as Doncaster Rovers have evolved as teams naturally do. But it's fascinating that you both hit the ground running in League One. What do you put that down to, or is it just this idea of momentum is a huge thing in football?
Yeah, obviously is. I think momentum would be underplaying it a wee bit. I think there is obviously a lot of hard work that goes in, I'm sure, at Bradford as well. I think they've recruited well, obviously. They've got players that know the league and have played in the league a lot before. So yeah, obviously momentum plays a part. It plays a part in both, good and bad. You know, when teams come down, they tend to struggle. When teams go up, sometimes get a boost. So yeah, I think momentum does play a part, but I think also there's obviously a lot of hard work in terms of recruitment and style and training work for both clubs, really. But it's not surprising that they've started so well.
For sides in this part of the world this season, there are either South Yorkshire derbies, which you've obviously clearly experienced and will do again, West Yorkshire, Yorkshire derbies as a whole. Even some of the other teams aren't that far away and just down the road. That dealing with the atmosphere and the kind of other things that those types of matches have in them could be quite a big factor as to whether Doncaster Rovers, Bradford, Huddersfield, Barnsley, Rotherham are successful this year.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the big games as well as last week, you know, is a big one. It was a big one for us. I think they are unique in their games, and also it plays into sometimes they're a wee bit more scrappy and frantic. So that's always in your mind, but you do try and play it as a normal game as it is. But obviously there is that added intensity and heat on the game. So yeah, to say it does definitely play a part, and as I said, they're maybe a wee bit quicker and frantic to start with, but we try our best to kind of get our quality shown through rather than having that for 90 minutes.
What about you then? How are you finding this season? And because obviously you've played quite a bit of football, and adapting to this season as a whole.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I had a good start to the season, both personally and the team. So yeah, really excited with how we've started. I've really enjoyed it. I enjoyed having a full pre-season, and you know, obviously being healthy. So I think it's all been positive so far. Yeah, and I'm just looking to kind of keep that rolling and stay consistent with everything that I do.
Yeah, because that's big for you, isn't it? Look, we've spoken before when you've just got back into the team after injury issues. So to be as 100% as any footballer ever is going to be must be great, both, you know, from a mental perspective and a physical one.
Yeah, definitely, and also just being able to train properly almost every day and kind of access, you know, the maximum, which I do need to do, because obviously we're up a level and that brings its own challenges. So, you know, to be in that place right now is obviously, you know, very pleasing for me, and I'm just looking to kind of maintain that and strive on and kick on.
And as you, up a level, but what sort of things do you find then in League One that you maybe didn't find last year then as the step up is the challenge?
This year's. I mean, we haven't had major, kind of the word I'm looking for, major kind of disruption or whatever. But I think the Huddersfield game probably for us as a team was a good one to look back on. Obviously, it was a defeat, but we played really well for 70 minutes, and don't kind of score one on top or put a stamp on that time when we're on top of the game. And then Huddersfield obviously come back and a couple bits of quality and they win the game. That's probably the biggest lesson from last year. Even times when we didn't maybe score in, that we always kind of found a way to win a game. Whereas this year we might not get that opportunity. So I think that for us as a team and individuals is when we're on top, really going and rubber stamping, and getting a goal or two in that time.
Yeah, it's funny. Prior to the match last weekend, Grant McCann was saying that, and I assume he still thinks the same, the Huddersfield performance was the best of the season, which ended in defeat. But are you racking up wins quite nicely so far at the start of this campaign?
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think the boys were really good for, as I said, about 70 minutes of that game. And that's funny, it's how football works. We probably didn't play half as well against Rotherham, especially in the second half. And we got to find ways to win games, and we've been really good at that over the last 18 months, is staying consistent even when we're not playing well, is doing the fundamentals of football right and getting victories.